Right. I should have probably done this a long time ago, but a lot of people probably wonder, what is this thing anyway? So, I can't remember the name of the frame. It's a frame you could buy as a kit and put together. So that's all Volkswagen stuff that's up in the front suspension, spindle, front axles, beam front end. It's all normal stuff. And then, so my dad modified the shit out of it from there back so that you could accommodate small block Chevy V8. That small block is I'm pretty sure, 99% sure it is a 400 block with a 350 crank. So it's destroked, probably bored 30 over, ends up being a 377 or something right around that cubic inch. It's got the cam is probably something like 630 lift, 300 to 305 duration, somewhere in there. So it's pretty rowdy sounding. The transmission is out of a 1972 Oldsmobile Tornado. So it's a transaxle. And adapted to the Chevy engine. So it's got that weird bolt pattern right there. The bolts to the Chevy bolt pattern with this thick aluminum plate. And okay, let's see. The other fun thing. The axle. I don't know if you can see the axle, but it goes through the oil pan. I don't know if it's like between the crankshaft throws or something like that. I don't know. I've never seen any of that kind of stuff, but I am not entirely sure if it would accommodate the 400 crankshaft. So maybe that's the reason why my dad never did poke it out to an actual 400. So we had just we ripped apart the suspension and welded this piece of angle iron in here so that it would not flex anymore. The other plate's bent in from the torque. I separated out the transmission cooler. It was originally in the transmission. We did a little experiment. We separated out and put that little small transmission cooler in there. It's definitely not enough. But as soon as I did that, the temperature dropped down. It was like getting up to like 230 or something, just driving around Adam's driveway. So that should probably eliminate a lot of that heat. Pretty sure it's because it's got the high stall converter. It's got like a 4,000 or 4,500 stall converter in it. We smoked the transmission pretty good, so sent it away to Elson's Transmissions. He was happy to see an old school transmission like this. I guess a lot of the internals are like a Turbo 400. This is actually called a Turbo Hydro 425. And so he rebuilt the transmission for me, and damned if it's like looking brand new damn near. And he did a little extra work to it for me. He put a shift kit in it. He sent the torque converter away. They cut it apart. They inspected it and fixed a couple of little things. Because there was some wheelies that had been had. It caved in the transmission pan. James couldn't find another one, so he had to reuse this one. He bent it back into shape, and it had broken the transmission filter pickup and all that kind of stuff, and so it was sucking dirty transmission fluid right into it, cycling it through, and it burned up the clutches pretty proper. I saw them. I should have probably kept them because they were kind of fun to look at. Anyway, he rebuilt this thing. Cost me a pretty penny. Not too bad. I was expecting like $2,000 or something like that. It ended up being like $1,300 or something. Not too terrible. They put these transmissions in a GM motorhome as well. The final drive, or the differential, is a lower gear set in the GM motorhomes. They're a lower geared set. I don't think that this has got a lowered gear set, but it would be definitely helpful. Would probably save the transmission some. It had a Predator carburetor on there. There's no way to lean out the Predator carburetor for running this altitude unless you buy some expensive parts and do some drilling and experimental stuff, and I just wasn't willing to do that, so I put a Holley 650 double pumper on here and had to come up with a bell crank type of thing so that I could have the throttle cable coming out the opposite direction. It works pretty good. Once we started leaning it out a little bit and it started developing a little bit more power, it wasn't running dead rich, is when the transmission finally gave up. All fun stuff, learning things. Ball joints are pretty well toasted, and I don't have the arms in the back of my car right now, but the A-arm that connects the back here, which, yeah, I drilled an extra hole. I didn't know that the A-arms were all tweaked out of shape, so when I drilled the first hole, it ended up being too high. So I'll fix that. But anyway, that's about, I think I couldn't find the ball joints. Okay, so the other side. Let's go to the other side here. These A-arms came from like Speedway motors, I guess, I think. And they originally did not have this 3-bolt pattern. This ball joint must be specific to the Oldsmobile Tornado because the axles and the knuckles and all that kind of stuff are all the Oldsmobile. So I'm guessing that this ball joint must be something that works for that because it's got a 10-degree taper. All the ball joints I looked for on Summit had the 4, like this one here. I had a 50-50 shot whether it was 10 degree or if it was 7 degree. First one I bought was 7 degree. It was sloppy in there, so I took it back and got the 10 degree. But the 3 bolts threw me. So now I got to come up with a solution for that. So I'm thinking about scrapping this whole top A-arm and building something with the plate that accommodates the 4-bolt pattern, accommodates the shock mount, and comes up here and maybe connects in close to this roll bar here for some more strength and have a Heim joint right there. So it doesn't have so much twist in action here because that's what bent this plate in. Then this one going back can connect into this plate or maybe even the roll bar. Haven't decided. And then that could have a heim joint right there, which comes in and screws into the plate that comes, you can buy, has a threaded stud that sticks out, and it'll accommodate like a 3/4 threaded rod end or control arm. So that would be a solution for this. This would all be one plate, incorporating the ball joint, shock, strong, and then this would be a piece that goes back to a heim joint right back here. That's my thought. That's a little bit more than I was intending to do to this, but right now I think what we're going to do is try to just get it so it's driving and see how it does with the new transmission and the transmission cooler and the radiator situation. The engine seems like it's pretty healthy and strong, sounds good. We have some work to do up here. There's some bars that got cracked from what we believe might be an end over end situation. Cracky, cracky, crack. When it happened, it blew one of the tires out. I wonder how the fuel tank didn't come out of the thing. And yeah, this is not my garage. This is Adam's disastrous garage, but he's got a lift in here and it makes things nice and easy to work on. So it's been a blessing. And anyway, that's about it.